So Jade's sexy outfits show she's beaten anorexia for good. So we have Jade here. She is a Little Mix star, and this is the Sun, 22nd October 2016. So what's happening to her? So Jade's sexy outfits show she has beaten anorexia for good. Yeah, and certainly it looks like that from the picture. So she's made great progress. I cannot praise Little Mix star Jade Thirwall highly enough for being honest about her struggle with anorexia. By being so open, she will help many young girls and boys in the grip of this horrible and destructive illness. By being Jade's eating disorder began when she was just 13. She apparently became overworked, with problems at home, the death of a family member, and being bullied. Jade's way of coping and her understandable need to have control over at least one aspect of her life led to her virtually starving herself. Like so many others who became slaves to anorexia, Jade pressed that self-destruct button. She refused to face up to the fact that she had a problem, wouldn't listen to concerned family and friends, and stubbornly continued in a dangerous downward spiral. Her periods stopped, and she was so dangerously underweight she had to be admitted to the hospital. That was a real wake-up call. That sort of tough love therapy helped her enormously, and she was able to take baby steps towards dealing with her eating disorder. Jade left is now 23 and has shown real strength of character by sharing her story and facing up to her past problems. She's one of the lucky ones. Far too many of our young women and men are slowly killing themselves through starvation, binging and vomiting without receiving the help they need. And yeah, vomiting is definitely dangerous. Also can cause many problems. The nature of their illness means they often don't want anyone to intervene and won't listen to reason. But there aren't enough counselors or specialist units available either. For parents trying to cope, it must be beyond frustrating and completely heartbreaking. So many people, GPs included, still don't understand the complicated nature of this illness. The worst thing you can say to an anorexic is pull yourself together and have a fish supper. That's not just patronizingly simplistic, it's also incredibly unhelpful, like telling someone with a broken leg to run the marathon. It's actually remarkable, given her anorexic past, that Jade is now blossoming in one of the most ruthless, image-conscious professions in the planet. Pop music chews up talent and spits it out. You must be made of strong stuff in order to cope. Luckily, Jade has bandmates Perry and Josie, Jessie and Leigh for support. Having interviewed the girls many times since they won the X Factor in 2011, I have been the first hand how close they have all become. They will be keeping a watchful eye on their friend to make sure Jade is eating well properly and taking care of herself. In the very early days, the girls clung to each other for dear life as they were propelled into frenzied global stardom. Now they have grown to be steel magnolias, with an all-for-one and one-for-all attitude. I wish more young women would adapt. Far too many girls are their own worst enemies, succumbing to envy, bitchiness, and bullying, not realizing how important it is to have girl pals who trust you, love you, and have your back. Okay, what next? So faking orgasms. Look at how Little Mix closed ranks around Perry when she was unceremoniously dumped by former One Direction star Zayn Malik, and how they had a delicious revenge on that rather shallow young man with their new single Shout Out to My Ex, with references to bad sex and faking orgasms with a duff former boyfriend. We are left to draw out our own conclusions, but I think we get the message, Perry. This is a band who really are stronger together and genuinely support each other. Little Mix fans are fiercely loyal and look up to all the girls. They in turn know they have responsibility to be proper role models. Their risk outfits during last week's triumphant appearance on the X Factor might have been ruffled a few feathers. But these girls aren't puppets who wear what they are told and whose every word is controlled by management. They are funny, feisty females who should not be underrated, and they choose to wear those revealing outfits because they feel happy and confident in their bodies. That's a remarkable strong message from the girls, and from Jade in particular. It seems a positive message that you can escape from the clutches of eating disorder, and you can go on to love the skin you are in.